And good afternoon. Here we are again on a Tuesday afternoon. So I was glancing at the Torah portion we're going to read this week, and I came across a kind of interesting passage that I just wanted to share with you because we're in Deuteronomy, and it is Deuteronomy chapter 8, uh, and it says in this chapter, um, God says to the children of Israel, "You should observe all the mitzvot that I give to you today, and you should remember the journey that God has led you on for these past 40 years." Chapter 8, verse 3 says, God afflicted you and starved you and fed you manna while you were in the desert. So the rabbis ask a really good question. They say, what does this mean? Why, if God is feeding them manna, why were they starving? What is it they were starving for? And one of the classical teachers of Midrash, Mendel of Raimanov, suggests that this manna that they were being fed certainly fed their stomach. It fed their hunger that was with them. But the manna did nothing to feed their spiritual desires, did nothing to feed the kind of spiritual hunger that resides in each and every person. God was reminding the children of Israel that it's not just by bread alone that we live. That's really the lesson here. It's not just by bread alone, but it's by the strength of our spirit. It's by the way that we are able to interface with our spirit and our spiritual world. So, the manna helped to sustain the bodies of those people who were in the desert, but all that while they were yearning for a spiritual knowledge that they would gain over the length of their days, and to which we still are seeking to fulfill in our days as well, seeking to fulfill our spiritual hunger as well. So it's a teaching from this week's Torah portion. I never really noticed the line that said God afflicted them and fed them manna, and here it is, and as plain as it could be. We need to feed our spirits. We need to keep our spiritual strength strong. Can be our message for today, and our message for this week to come. We're going to continue to study this Torah portion over this week ahead of us, as well as on Shabbat morning. But in the meantime, let's consider for ourselves, how do we feed our spiritual desires? How do we feed that is hungry within us for a higher spirit? It's sometimes by meditation, sometimes by prayer, sometimes by Jewish learning, and sometimes it's just by being out in nature. Sometimes feeding our spirit takes all of these modalities. There's a teacher, um, uh, one of the classical Hasidic teachers, taught that by being out in nature, by being alone in nature, one could feed their spirit. You could actually commune with the natural world and could feel one's spirit being refilled. Maybe being able to fill up one's spirit is almost as good as the Israelites receiving that manna that was fell from the desert. There's also a teaching related to this little passage from the Torah, from Deuteronomy, and that is that the manna that fell every day in the desert wasn't just God feeding the Israelites. It was also there to train the children of Israel that each and every day they would need to refresh their spiritual lives. Each and every day they would need to seek a deeper kind of spiritual wisdom and kind of way of finding a communion with God in their lives. And so the manna was just training for that ahead of us. We'll conclude then with the Mourner's Kaddish as we always do. Yit Gadal v'yit Gadash Shemei Rabbah. V'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon v'yamechon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. B'agalav izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach l'olam li'amei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbawar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yidadar v'yidaleh v'yidalal shemei d'kudisha b'riachu. Liela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imramein. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imramein. Oseh shalom b'imramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Thank you, friends, for being with us, and we wish you a good week ahead.